Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're good. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to today's video, which is what I read in July. Welcome. I read a lot of books actually, like in July. So I was lucky enough this month to read books from both my favorite authors, who are Ali Hazelwood and Lily Gold. So that was very exciting to me. So yeah, let's start. First book I read, Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. It showed up on my doorstep because I pre-ordered it. I forgot about that, but I was happy. I just love Ali Hazelwood's banter, her writing style, the romances. And I know everyone's like, oh, but like he's so big and she's so small. I don't give a shit. Honestly, give me the big man. I don't care. So, Love Theoretically is about Elsie and Jack. Elsie is a theorist and Jack is an experimentalist. Don't quote me on those words, because I have no idea how science is. So Elsie finally landed a job, finally landed an interview for a job that she really wants. But she has to interview with Jack. The only thing is, Jack Smith wrote an article many years ago that practically ruined Elsie's mentor's career. So we have a little rivalry to love her while she's doing a little interview, trying to, you know, get this fucking job. Wow, it's such a written right there on the back of the book. Okay, I'm just fucking dumb. She's a theoretical physicist, and he's a, I just saw it, experimental physicist. You know what I said? Don't quote me on that. I'm just dumb. So yeah, while she's trying to land this job and ignore the fact that he is who he is, and little rivalry-ish to lovers. I really enjoyed it. Next up, I found this book. If you look at my July vlog, which is actually next week, it's not up yet, you'll see that I found this in a book box while I was on a little road trip with my mom, and I ended up reading it in a fucking day. Like, going through it. We're sitting in the park and so this is L'Épouse Insaisissable by Callie Hutton. This is not the actual original name because it is translated to French. It is The Elusive Wife by Callie Hutton. So this is about Jason and Olivia. When Jason's father died, in his will it says that he has to marry Olivia to get his inheritance. So he shows up there, drunk as fuck, gets married, goes to bed, and then dips out the next morning. The thing is, he doesn't remember his wife's face at all, or her name, or anything about her. So it is obviously like the season of the balls and everything, and he goes in there because no one knows he's married. Like, he's technically a bachelor, and like fucking cute. And Olivia gets bored in the lost estate of that man that she just married, that she's fucking lonely, honestly. So she goes and visits her friend in London and goes to those balls. He starts to have a crush on her without knowing who she is, and slowly falling for her. And she knows who he is. She knows that's technically her husband, but she's stringing him along. She's just like, bet. Like, so yeah. They do end up falling in love. I ordered the second, third, and fourth book in this series. The second and fourth did come in. The third, not yet, but honestly, I know the second is about Drake, who is Jason's best friend, and fucking excited, honestly. Next, I read 2 Quebec books. I read 3 books in French this month, which is good. Honestly, my first language is French, so I should probably read more in French, but I don't. I got this book for my road trip because, okay, little backstory. I work in a book distribution warehouse. So like the job I do, like my part of the job, I put back books that are returns. And I saw that book so many fucking times. And I was like, you know what? Reading what's on the back, it looks nice. It wasn't what I thought it would be. So this is C'est le bout de là by Catherine Bourgault. Basically means it's the end of the, and a Quebec expression is C'est le bout de la marde, which means it's the end of the shit, which means like you can't take anymore. Like that's it. So let's get into this book. What I thought it was and what it was. So like on here it says that Charlotte's life has all been a little bit complicated because of her ADHD, like it's very intense. And so she is a wedding singer. So she goes 7-hour drive, I think it was. Yeah, a 7-hour drive away to do her gig. And during the night, she finds, well, you can like kind of see it like here. She finds the maid of honor and the bride making out. And, well, there's an instant divorce. But the maid of honor was LG, this dude's girlfriend. Well, relationship, situationship. Honestly, I've read this whole book and I still don't know what they were. But she leaves him stranded. That's what we need to know. So, he is a video game YouTuber, basically. And she is a now wedding singer, but she technically like won 2nd place on a like reality singing show. And they now have to do the 7-hour drive together. And like when you read in the back, that's all you know. And I'm like, honestly, 7-hour drive together, like they're stuck, they don't know each other, and they fall in love. I thought this is what it was, and I was like, fuck yeah, like 7-hour drive and like I'm going on a road trip. But no, that's not the only thing. Like that's like the first right there, 80 pages of this book, and it's 300 and something. No, it's 330 pages ish. So first of all, that was not what I expected, and you don't know about that, like in the back. Whatever. And when they say, oh, she has an extreme ADHD, it is pushed to the extreme. Honestly, yes, like I am someone with ADHD and autism. No, we're not talking about the autism right now. I'm someone with ADHD, and this was way too fucking intense. Like, yes, there are days that my ADHD is intense, but this looks like the author went online, looked up ADHD symptoms, and just 100%, like 150% that. Like, I get it, sometimes it can be hard because of the ADHD, but you don't completely forget that you have a pet. She does. Like, stuff like that. I was like, honestly, I'm not able to get into her character. And he's like, oh, she's so quirky. And that's why he falls for her. Like, come on. Anyways. Next, the book that made me cry. This little thing. I also picked it up when I was in Shelf Book. Except I got that one like at an actual bookstore. And like this little bitch is 170 pages, 161 pages. I bawled my eyes out at the end of this. Oh, fuck. So this is Austin Kim by M.P. Boisvert. It is that author's only book, and honestly, I just want more. And that author, like when you look at, I just love it so much, and I want to cry again. So this book is about a roommate kind of situation, if I can say it that way. So it's about 5 people who now live together in an apartment. 4 of them are in a polyamorous relationship, and the 5th one is one of the girl's exes who needed to live somewhere and just was temporary. Fuck. And then the relationship like includes him, and there's highs and lows. Like there's a funeral in there. There's so many things, but they are so sweet. Oh, I love their relationship so much. Okay. So, like, all of the people in this book are queer in some degree. And they're all polyamorous. And they just live their best life. And it's a found family, and it's just so sweet. So our characters, like, first of all, when you go to the dedication, it says, to my girlfriend and my husband. And honestly, I'm trying to be like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be like that, okay? Like, both my husband and I, we are polyamorous people in a monogamous relationship at the moment, so it is what it is. So our characters, we have Alice, Gaël, Camille, and Simon, who already live together. And then we have Edouard, who is Alice's ex, who moves in. And like it literally says here, like, Alice, Gaël, Camille, and Simon all live together on the 5th floor of a building. Camille, Gaël, and Alice have a relationship all together, and Alice also with Simon. But then Edouard moves in. So we have Alice, who is bi or pan, Gaël, who is a lesbian, Camille, who is a trans lesbian, and we see a lot of the trans like life, like with her point of views. Oh, I just fucking bent it. Then we have Simon, who is bi or pan again, and Edouard, who discovers he is bi or pan. And yeah, like in this, there is like love relationships, sexual relationship, there's friendships, there's just found family, and I loved it so fucking much. I think I only gave it 4 stars, which honestly I don't understand, because I already want to reread it. I didn't know like a book this small could give me so many feelings. Next, so I had already read one Katharina Mora book before. Oh fuck, I don't remember the name of it. It's the one of Silas and Ray. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it. And then I started a series by her, and then I bought 2 other books by her that I haven't read yet. But so this is the Windsor family series. There's only 3 out right now, but honestly there's probably gonna be 2 other, because there's 2 other siblings. So the first one is The Wrong Bride. This is about Aris and Raven. You may know Raven from Bittersweet Memories, which is Silas's story, which Alana / Ray, I call her Ray a lot because that's the nickname she has, is very jealous of. So this is about Aris and Raven. Aris is supposed to get married to Raven's sister because of a family like merger. It's an arranged marriage situation. And when the sister doesn't show up, Raven has to get married instead. The thing is, Raven has a crush on Aris her whole fucking life. And they are like super best friends. So it's a friends to lovers arranged marriage situation. And I fucking love it. Honestly, Katharina Mora, like the men she writes, I love them. They're a little bit obsessive, I can be completely honest, but I love them. So you have The Wrong Bride. Then we have Temporary Wife, which is about Luca and Valentina, who is his secretary. So Luca does not want to do his arranged marriage. Like, you know, the Windsor marriages are all arranged marriages. He doesn't want to do this shit. So he's like, fuck it, I'm marrying my secretary. It's only supposed to be temporary until he gets his inheritance, and then, like, you know, you can do whatever the fuck you want. They do end up falling together, but the rules are simple. So don't fall in love, keep their marriage a secret at work, share a bed every night. Let me tell you that they do fall in love. Luca is the more intense brothers from what I've seen, but Valentina is also really fucking intense. So that's amazing. Love it. Next, Unwanted Marriage. I keep seeing quotes of this book on TikTok. Well, I kept seeing it. I was like, ooh, what's this book? What's this book? And I'm like, honestly, yeah. Like, I'm gonna read it. Don't mind me. The Unwanted Marriage is about Dion and, I don't remember her name, Faye. Dion and Faye know that they are in an arranged marriage. Like, they are engaged. They've been engaged for 10 years or something. But, you know, Faye was not old enough to get married because he is 10 years older than her. So, like, technically she was engaged her whole fucking life. And, you know, they don't have the best relationship. But, you know, they need to get married and they end up falling for each other. So one of the scenes that I kept seeing on TikTok is one of the scenes I do really love. So Faye's father is abusive, so trigger warning if you can't read about that. But he is like, oh, Faye, like, go do this. And Dion, that motherfucker, just goes, my wife doesn't have to lift a finger in my house. She won't do it in yours. Like, or some shit like that. Anyways, I really liked it. Like, Christina Mora is going up there. Like, in my authors, like, she's going up fast. Next, I read this bitch in like 3-4 days. Pucking Around by Emily Raff. And holy fuck, I gave it 5 stars. It was the first book I gave 5 stars since reading Rule Number 5 like 2 months ago. And they're both hockey romances. This is about Rachel, who just got her degree in physical therapy medicine, something like that. She just joined a fellowship so she can be shipped off to a team and, like, to a sports team and be their doctor. Only thing is, she hasn't had much luck in love except that one guy a month ago, Mr. Perfect, who she spent a night with, but she can't forget about him. But she shipped off to this fellowship, and this is a reverse harem. Well, it's more polyamory than reverse harem, if I'm completely honest, because there is like a throuple, and she's in a relationship with someone else too. So she ends up falling for the equipment guy, who is Callum. Also for Jake, who turns out to be Mr. Perfect. It is not a spoiler because it's on the back. And both of these are like instant love. But then there's also Mars, who is a more slow burn kind of book, kind of love. Which honestly, it's a 700-page book, so like as slow burn as you can get in this. And yeah, they learn to navigate their emotions. There's some queerness that like is discovered, and just a lot of family relationships, also found family relationships, sexual relationships, love relationships. It's just, I really liked it, honestly. These mans, I love them so fucking much. Yeah, it's a good thing that I'm kind of hiding the cat. Oh, I'm not. Can you stop licking your butthole, please? Or do it a little further away. Next up, I read this duet. So this is The Crown of Neoxia Nightborn duet by Carissa Broadbent. So the first one is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and the second one is Ashes of Star-Cursed. And the Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, for fuck's sake. I can't speak. So, if you like challenges, trials, rivals to lovers, vampires, you're gonna love this. Okay, this shit, you're gonna love it. So, I'm just gonna read you like what it says on the back, because I honestly think like there's nothing else to say. Human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. The adopted human daughter of the Nightborn vampire king, Oriah, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than a prey is entering the Kejari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy against the most vicious warriors of all three vampire houses. To survive, Oriah is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Rain is dangerous. He's a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet, what terrifies Oriah most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. But there is no room for compassion in Kejari. War for the throne of House of Night brews, shattering everything that Oriah thought she knew about her home. And Rain may understand her more than anyone, but their blossoming attraction could be her downfall in a kingdom where nothing is more deadly than love. So book one is everything about the Kejari. It's everything about the tournament. It's like 7 challenges. I think it was 7 challenges for the Kejari. That's book one. In the end of the Kejari, it's supposed to be only one survives, but it's a love story. And there's a second book. So book 2 is about the after of the Kejari. About them. Honestly, I loved it. There is some smut, but like, it's not smut as much as lovemaking, and it's really fucking poetic. Honestly, it's so fucking poetic, like what the hell? I don't usually read tournament-based stories, but I was like, adopted human daughter of a vampire king and a tournament. I was like, why not? Next up, Lily Gold. You can probably see it back there. Is the other book that is not in here. So for some reason I was like, let me reread all of her books. She has a 5th book coming out sometime this year. I know it's gonna be fucking amazing when it comes out. So I went about it in order of they were published. So first we have 3 Swedish Mountain Men. It is the shortest of her books. So this is about Daisy, who, after being humiliated by her ex, runs away, and she ends up in Sweden. As one does. Not speaking the language, not ready for the trip at all. And when she gets there, it's too early for her to book into her Airbnb, so she just, you know, drives around. And then she nearly hits a moose with her car. She doesn't, but she ends up hitting her like getting in an accident with a tree instead. But lucky for her, 2 men come to her rescue Eli and Cole. There's in fact 3 men, but... And... they're like, hey, like, first of all, your car is fucking wrecked. Second of all, there's a storm rolling in, so we won't be able to get your car to a repair place or get you back to the village where you were, to get you to the Airbnb. We're on the way up the mountain. We're gonna take you with us, and once the storm is past, we'll take your car to the repair shop. You can be on your way. It does sound very murderous, and she thinks so too, but honestly, she isn't pain. She's like, hey, if I'm gonna die in the storm, might as well die by these men. I don't know. She's like, why not? Fuck it. And so they do bring her to their cabin, where they live with a 3rd man, who is Riven, who is a doctor. So Eli, he's my favorite in this book. Honestly, I love him so much. He's like, hey, Riven, you know, check her out. Like, is she okay? Like, bitch just got into an accident. We need to be sure she's okay. I ended up, you know, taking care of her until the storm passes. And just end up falling in love, you know? Something I like about Lily Gold's writing is that they have stuff that are deeper than just like, who, men, let me sleep with them, you know? Like, all the characters have a past, and honestly, what Daisy, like I just said, is like she was humiliated by her ex, but like it's very intense. So yeah, you can really get through that. Lily Gold books are always a 5 out of 5 for me, and I just love it. Second is Triple Duty Bodyguard, which is the first book I've ever read by her, actually. So this is about Briar. She is a famous actress. One night, a man enters her bedroom while she's sleeping, jacks off on her bed, takes a Polaroid of her, writes her a little note, and then dips out. So Briar ends up like firing her head of security, like her security team, because she's like, for fuck's sake, guys, like y'all were in my home, no one knew this was happening. And then her new security team are these 3 men. So we have Glenn, we have Matt, and we have Kenta, who is my favorite in this one. They are ex-SAS ex-military dudes who are now bodyguards, and you know, they take on the job, and like it's a real threat because it's a stalker more than just someone who broke into her home, and goes from there. And something I like about this book is that we have the stalker's point of view in there. I really liked it, honestly. So yeah, this one. Next, I didn't finish it in July, but I finished it on August 1st. Nanny for the Neighbor. It's about Beth, Cyrus, Sebastian, and Jack or Jake? Jack. I have so much trouble remembering the name of people that are either Jack or Jake in books. Like, so this is Jack. So these 3 guys are one morning handed a carrier that says, to the boys in apartment 5A, congratulations, you have a kid. So the guys used to sleep with the same woman for about a month. They always use protection, but apparently that doesn't work. And yeah, one day they just have the kid dropped on their doorstep. They do not know which of them is the father. They learn that the mother is now in rehab. They didn't even know she was on drugs. And they don't know what the fuck to do with a kid. But lucky for them, enters Miss Bethany Ellis. She is their downstairs neighbor, and she is a nanny. She's also out of a job, so when they're like, hey, like, we're gonna pay you, I don't care, like, what's your hourly rate? how much you want. We need you to help this kid. And so she does. The thing is, being in a house with 3 men nearly 24/7, well, it's more like 8 hours, 5 days a week, but at the start, she starts to fall for them, and honestly, they start to fall for her too. And again, 5-star. Something I like in this one, we have, well, Beth was in foster care her whole life, and you know, we have this to add to the story. Like I said, like the girls all have like a past in these books, and I really like it. I'm currently reading Friends with Benefit, which is actually my favorite one of Lily Gold's books, so you'll see that in what I read in August. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one, which is actually my July vlog. So, bye!